Hey guys, this is another series of what's in my pack, and today what we wanted to do is break down exactly what's in our day pack. So when we're going out for a day, whether it's off the trail or you're just packing in for the day, this is exactly what we're packing in, and the items that I've got in my pack all day long. There's going to be enough food and gear in there that could get me through at least 2 days, possibly 3 days, but some people may think it's too heavy. I'm right about 22 pounds or less. The pack I'm using this year is the Exo Mountain Gear 2000 bag with a lid, and running it on the 2017 frame. And so far, I tested it out yesterday, had about 90 pounds in it, and it works great. With this 20 pounds, it's perfect. You don't even know you have anything on your back, really. But I'm going to go through it step by step, what's in the pack, try to be as quick as I can, but give you a good understanding. I've already done a couple of reviews on what's in the pack as far as a meal kit, as well as a kill kit and a first aid kit. So I'm not going to go through all the details in a first aid kit, but I'm going to show you what I like to use is break down a lot of the gear into, the way I organize it is a meal kit, a kill kit, a first aid kit, and this is a simple medicine bag. But I use the KUIU dry bags. They work great. They're light, simple, and it allows me to separate everything. What I've got is the kill kit, and that thing is under a 2-pound kill kit. In this little dry bag, I carry basically some simple meds that I keep in a side pouch on the hip. This is the first aid kit, and it's under a pound. Meal kit, so this meal kit here is basically 3,000 calories. Right now I'm using the Jetboil Soul, and this basically gives you the options. You got your pot, your stove, everything into one, and a fuel canister. I just take the one fuel canister, and I can literally have a couple of meals quickly using that Jetboil. I use the MSR titanium spoon. That goes with me everywhere as well. And that's how I'm cooking those meals, basically boiling the water and pouring that water into the mountain houses. The radio that we're using and GPS is the Rhino 650. We love this. It's a great little tool to have. What it will allow me to do is track those I'm hunting with. We were very successful on a couple of hunts 2 years ago, and we were separated, 3 hunters, and we were able to send each other our locations using the Rhino, and that allowed me basically to pull up their waypoint and to go directly to where, you know, my buddies were, where they had their elk down. As far as the headlamp, there's a lot of headlamps out there. I've been running this Princeton Tech for about 6 or 7 years now, and I've never had any trouble with it. Very reliable and waterproof. It does float forward, so you can aim your light down towards the trail. But again, 5 years, I've replaced the batteries, you know, 2 or 3 times a year, and that's really it. But it gives me all the light that I need. There's different levels of light, and it is very water resistant, so it's been through a lot of weather. I have a backup knife. I use the Havalon for just about all the cleaning of the animal. But this is a backup knife for some reason if that Havalon were to break. This is a simple Kershaw. It's just a flip blade, and I keep it very sharp. So I'd like to carry a backup blade in case one of those razor sharp Havalons happen to fail. This is a nice little light that it goes with me everywhere. It's very light. The thing comes in around 4 or 5 ounces is all, and it's by a company called Luminade. I believe they were a Shark Tank success, but I picked this up on Amazon for about 15 or 16 bucks now. So it's solar charged, and basically you can take that lamp and you blow it up. It's kind of weird, but it works. It can serve as a pillow too. I've seen guys actually use it as a pillow. They'll put a shirt over it. But you can blow that up, and it allows you to hang that. If you do happen to, you need some light, you get an animal down and it's dark, this is going to give you surprisingly quite a bit of light, and you can hang that on the back of your pack and charge it. And again, coming in at like 3-4 ounces, you can't beat it. That light will actually last once it's fully charged. It will last for several hours. I carry a backup release everywhere I go. Basically the same TrueFire 4-finger thumb release that I use. I have 2 of them. I carry one as a backup. What else is in the pack? When I'm just going for the day, I don't take a water filter. I just take some tablets, so if I do need to get some water out of the stream, I can boil it. I can also fill up my platypus bag and drop a couple of tablets in there and shake it up, and I'm good to drink that water. But that's just for emergency. I typically take out about 3 liters of water a day, and that'll get me through the day. If I do need to cleanse some water, I can, using the tablets. I also carry, just for repair, this is tenacious tape. You can buy it in strips or a roll. Pick this up on Amazon or at REI or what have you. This tape will basically tape up if you got a tear in your raincoat, a tear in your tent. That tenacious tape works very well. I carry a backup pair of laces, boot laces, in case I happen to cheddar a pair of laces on some sharp rocks. Exo Mountain. These are bags that you can basically adhere right inside of your bag, up in the lid or inside the bag, using the Velcro. And I carry 2 of them. I carry the tenacious tape, the laces, and the water purifier in one bag, and in the other bag I carry my license, a carabiner, some chapstick, and I also carry some extra batteries. So this is the extra battery kit for the Rhino. Once the lithium battery dies, I've got a backup with some AA's here. And then I also carry a few extra batteries, the AAA and the AA, for that I can use for the Rhino. I can also use for the headlamp. And again, this is maybe overkill, but I carry a little roll of Gorilla Tape. You never know, if you break a quiver or what have you, you're going to need to tape something up. It's good to have a piece of Gorilla or duct tape with you. I carry 1 or 2 lighters as well, if you need a flame. If that lighter happens to get wet and die, this is a product that I'm a big believer in. It's from a company called Light My Fire. And it's just a striker. It's got your flint and your steel. Surprisingly, this thing works really well. You could start up a fire pretty quick with it. Again, it's Light My Fire. Got your flint and steel all in one, tied down with some paracord there. As far as protection from the elements, I carry a simple pair of First Light wool gloves. That's going to keep my hands warm during the day. They're wool. They're going to dry out quick. They're light. And then I also pack around my rain jacket. This is a First Light Storm Tight. That goes with me everywhere I go. I tuck that down right in front of my pack, and when you're hunting at 12,000, 10,000 feet, those storms come in August and September pretty quick. Depending on the day, if it's really chilly, I will run a First Light Uncompadre Puffy as well. Maybe a little extra weight, but it's sometimes worth it. But that is really what is in my pack, and that's what I'm carrying in a 2,000 bag, an Exo Mountain Gear 2,000 bag. Going in for 3 or 4 days, my pack is going to get up there in the high 30s. That is with additional food and sleeping gear that you're going to need, and a water filter. Show you exactly what I throw in there. I'm not running, I've tried the floorless system. It works for me sometimes, but I've stuck with a tent. I just like the confinement of a tent. We'll probably go back floorless Sunday. What I'm running right now is a Big Agnes. It's a Seed House SL3, so it's a 3-man. I do have a 2-man that I use. It's an Easton. It's a little bit lighter. It's a Rimrock. And if I'm going out solo, that's typically what I'll run. It'll save me a pound off of what I'm running right here. But if there's 2 of us going out there together, I'm the horse, I guess, and I'm packing the tent. And this is the tent that I'll use. It's going to get me with a footprint, the poles, the tent. I'm looking at and the fly. This is a total about 3 pounds, 3.5 pounds. Maybe a little heavy, but this is not the way I pack it. I'll typically take out the fly and everything and get it tight down inside the pack, and the poles are going to go on the side. It will compress down and pack quite tight once I get the poles out of there. I will put it in a compression sack and get it down tight. Again, it's a Big Agnes Seed House SL3. When I say it's a 3, it's a 3-man, but truly that is a 2-man in my opinion. I like to to keep the gear dry with the vestibules, and even having a little bit of space in there for 2 guys. And when it's a 1 guy, I run an Easton Rimrock 2 person, which equates to me to 1. As far as a water filter, I've tried some of the gravity filters, and I still tend to come back to using my Katadyn. This is a Katadyn Vario, and it's going to come under a pound. It's a pump, and I love it. I keep the filter very clean, but it will pump water like nobody's business. It's very fast. I can fill up a 3-liter bladder literally within a couple of minutes. As far as a sleeping pad, I use 2 different versions of pads, so depending if it's on the colder end of it, I fell in love with this pad. It's an REI Stratus, so REI brand Stratus. The good thing about this, it's 2.5 inches, so it's a little thicker than that 2-inch lighter pad. It still comes in, as far as its weight, it's just over a pound, about 1.25 pounds. But on the ends, where it inflates, the ends are a little bit higher. It's going to get it to about 3 inches, and then 2.5 inches in the middle. What that does is it keeps me on the pad. It's a very durable pad. It's insulated. That's why it's a little bit heavier than some of the other pads out there. Again, on colder days, this is what I use. When I'm going ultralight, I use, this is a 5 or 6 year old Climate Static V. That thing comes in, I believe it's about 14 ounces, so it's under a pound. Very light. You can see the difference. It's a compact pad. But if I'm going in ultralight, this is the guy. If it's warmer in August, early September, I stick with the Climate. If I'm going to be a late September hunt after elk, 12,000, 13,000 feet, I'll throw in a little extra weight, but I go for the insulated pad. So if I'm in the colder seasons, this is a Kelty. It's a 0 degree, and I know it may be extreme, but I'm a big wimp. I like to stay warm. It is a 0 degree. It's going to be a little bit of weight, and it's a little bulky. It comes in roughly, I want to say it's about 2.5, 2 3/4 pounds. So like it's 2 pounds and 10 ounces. So it's a bit on the heavy side. But again, it's worth it to me, that extra pound. If it's going to be cold, I'm not going to stay up breezing all night. I do have a lighter bag. It's another Kelty Cosmic. This is a Cosmic, and it's a 20 degree. I don't have it right here, but it saves me a pound, and it's a 20 degree. It's a little bit shorter, and so I'll take that and the Climate pad when I'm going ultralight. Again, later in the season, I stick with the Stratus insulated pad and the 0 degree bag. Trekking poles, I just started using trekking poles literally last year, and I use them on hikes up into the Wind Rivers in Wyoming. We do some pretty technical hikes up there, and just climbing and training at 13,000 feet, 12,000 feet. Using, again, the Black Diamond, and they're very collapsible, they're strong. I put a lot of weight on those coming down, some steep terrain with a lot of weight on my back, and they've held up great. The spotter we're using, this is a Razor. It's the newer Razor by Vortex in the HD. It's not the lightest spotter out there, but for the quality you're going to get as far as an optic, it does a great job. Very crisp and clear, gathers light. It's going to add definitely some weight to your pack. Again, it depends on the day, but that thing comes in just shy of 4 pounds with the case. So it's definitely going to add some weight, but it just depends on the day. I don't take that everywhere with me. If I am going in for 3 or 4 days and I know I'm going to be doing some spotting, I never leave that behind. A day pack, we're running about 20 pounds, 22 pounds. That could be 23, 24 if I have the spotter on there. That's with, you know, plenty of calories to get us through 1 or at least 2 days. If we're going in for 4 or 5 days, depending on how much food I'm going to need. Again, my food pack per day is going to weigh just under 2 pounds. I'll typically, for 4 days, instead of packing 8 pounds in food, I'll be packing about 6.5, 7. My total weight going in for, say, 3 days, maybe 4 days, is going, with what you're seeing here, is going to put me about, with a spotter on there, just under 40 pounds. and it's not ultralight, but it's pretty light, and it gives me a nice shelter, a nice warm sleeping bag. Again, I can shave off 2 or 3 pounds easily by going with a lighter, climate pad and a 20 or 30 degree bag, and not taking as much food. It's really your preference on how much you want on your back when you're going in. You've also got to understand, if you do get an elk or a deer down, that's got to come out with you eventually, all your gear, what gear you have left over. That's what's in our packs. If you have any questions, please subscribe to us on YouTube, send us a message. You can look us up on Instagram at 3T Outdoors as well. And we're happy to help you out, answer any questions. Again, this is gear that we've used in the field. We've been successful, stayed dry, and it's worked out really well for us. Again, it's 3T Outdoors on Instagram, and you can look us up on YouTube as well. Thanks.